Peacemaker Episode 4 has dropped on HBO Max this morning, so if you have not seen the show and are not caught up with the episodes, go click off right now because we're about to dive into spoilers. Now, if you haven't seen my review I posted of the first 3 episodes that dropped last week, I was a little indifferent because while I do enjoy the casting of John Cena in particular as the character of Peacemaker, I find some of the humor to not necessarily be on par with James Gunn's writing from the Suicide Squad film back in August of 2021. But did they refine it? Were they able to grab me in this 4th episode? Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Hez Project. I'm John Rodalaza, and today we're talking about episode 4 of Peacemaker. Now, like I said, I wasn't the hugest fan of those first 3 episodes, and I was quite shocked to see how many people that I follow and listen to on YouTube actually really enjoy this show and think it's the best DC show. Like, I've seen people saying that stuff. Like, it's up there, even surpasses some of the episodes of Arrow, at least the first 3 you can compare it to. It grabs them quicker than Arrow and Flash and all the other CW DC shows do. All I can say is I haven't seen those shows in the longest time, so I can't really comment on that. All I can say is that I'm kind of shocked that a lot of people, the majority, tend to like this show more than I do. Like, I generally fall towards the majority of people's opinions sometimes, but sometimes I said, but with this show, I feel like I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum and I like it. Now, this is not just gonna be a flip of the coin turn for me and just say, oh, Peacemaker's amazing now, what was I thinking? No, I still feel the same way as I felt when I did the review for the first 3 episodes. They're not the most amazing DC content I've ever seen, but this 4th episode, I think it really does define what Peacemaker is going to be going forward, and it's a nice blend of humor, the raunchy slapstick stuff, while having heart and real dramatic weight to it. This episode picks up when the 3rd one left off, of course, when Peacemaker was tasked to kill this whole family of people, and he started having doubts on what he's willing to do to achieve peace. And is this necessarily going to achieve peace? Not really, no. This was his boss, I'm forgetting his name, I don't know, but this guy tasked him, told him to take this family out, and he didn't necessarily believe that this was going to solve anything, so he didn't do it, which led to Vigilante taking over the sniper and just, like, you know, humming to himself and taking everybody out like it's nothing, like it's a Tuesday for him. And if you remember, at the beginning of that mission, all of the agents were contemplating whether or not should we just, like, take out Vigilante, because, like, he's not one of us. But when they saw that he did the job like it was nothing, like he was a soulless, heartless person, they were like, oh, well, we can use a little bit of crazy, so let's bring back Vigilante. While Peacemaker stopped at his dad's house to go pick up some more helmets, he ended up just taking them all from that, you know, that hybrid closet, whatever it is. It's like supposed to be a smaller room, but then it, you know, it expands once you put in the right passcode. And so he takes all the helmets, puts them in a bag, and he talks to his neighbor a little bit. The neighbor mentions that his father got arrested in the last episode or 2, in which we saw, you know, his father was reunited with some White Dragon followers, because he's the White Dragon, or at least he used to be the White Dragon, this crime-fighting vigilante racist. The neighbor mentions to Peacemaker that he was arrested, so he didn't know anything about that, apparently to cover up what Peacemaker's doing and the fact that he's now, you know, out of prison or whatnot, out of the hospital. They framed his father for things that Peacemaker did so that, you know, they could just go along using Peacemaker to complete the task of killing these butterflies. When Peacemaker Chris learns this, he wants to go speak to his father in prison, so he tells him about it. He gets all mad and he was like, those sons of they're gonna pay for what they did. And then he pretty much just, like, says all this very crappy stuff to his son, saying, you know, I only cared about your brother. You, I could give 2 craps about you. I never loved you, or stuff like that. I'm like, dude, what? This whole time Peacemaker is defending his father to the agents because they know a thing or two about him, knowing that he's this big racist, supposedly, this big asshole, and he's trying to defend him. He's saying, look, I love my father, and he makes me cool helmets and stuff, you know? But it's the fact that every time Peacemaker is having a conversation about his father to somebody, he sounds like he's on the defense. And now that he had this conversation with his father in prison, telling him about, you know, like how they framed him and whatnot, and now his father's going to use that information against him so he can get out, and basically revealing that he doesn't give two F's about Peacemaker Chris, I can see this semi-emotional turn coming of Peacemaker. Like, he's going to see the error in his ways. He's going to see that his father is a real dickhead, and he's going to turn on him or something. He's just, I don't know what's going to happen, but I like the road that they're going, and we got slow reveals of Peacemaker's past that, I'll be honest, I think really does work for the character of Peacemaker. He's not just this slapstick guy who says nonsense that sometimes is funny and sometimes is not. Because I'll be honest, some of Peacemaker's humor, while the majority of it I do think is funny, there is quite a bit of it that comes from this naive nature of his. Like, it just makes him come across as an idiot and a buffoon sometimes. While the agents are trying to explain to Vigilante Adrian how dangerous it is to have you know, Peacemaker's father alive, and it's going to cause a distraction for Chris for this mission that they're doing, Adrian takes it upon himself to get arrested. So he goes either outside the prison, and he goes up to the little lunch area where all the guards are having their lunch and their break. He takes the garbage can, throws it against the window, cracks it, and he's just like, yep, arrest me, guys. He lays on the ground for them and everything. That's kind of funny, and it did get a chuckle out of me. I was kind of not cringing in a bad way, but like cringing at, oh my god, what is he gonna do? Because this dude, although he's very silly, he's low-key unhinged. Like, you have no idea what Vigilante is gonna do next, and I was kind of fearing that he was gonna just brutally murder Peacemaker's father. Now, I don't really care about Peacemaker's father in this show, but still, like, I was afraid that he was gonna do something super drastic. They played off very well, though. They make you think that something crazy is about to go down. He joins Peacemaker's father's table while they're playing cards and whatnot, and he starts calling them all out, saying the most outlandish I've ever heard. It's hilarious, but it's very discomforting. It was cringe in a good way. It was enthralling. I like when the show captivated me in this conversation. Like, I was sitting at the table and I didn't know what to do. I'm just like, oh my god, dude, shut up. What are you saying? He's the White Dragon. What are you doing? So far in the first 4 episodes, Adrian as Vigilante is still remaining as one of my favorite characters. I think he's very entertaining and very funny, and he pulls off the role of kind of being a low-key badass, low-key unhinged guy, and it works, dude. I just like it. I think his writing is perfect. Other people's writing, for the first 3 episodes, I would say, just wasn't really working for me. I feel like everyone was telling jokes for the sake of it, and not everybody needs to be that character. And I'll be honest, a lot of them weren't like that in this episode. They were a little bit more self-contained and just doing their own thing, and I liked it. We do get a really cool action sequence after Economimus. I don't know what the hell his name is. You know, the guy with the glasses, John. I think that's his first name. Hey. So John kidnaps the short little dude in the green costume. I thought that was the detachable kid played by Nathan Fillion, but once we saw the actual show, he is much smaller than the detachable kid. Like, this dude is actually a kid. He's gotta be. He's so small. And I forgot what his name was, but they kept referring to him as Cobra Kai. Why? Because he resembles a cobra, or he knows martial arts? I don't know. They're just calling him Cobra Kai. Anyways, so John restrains him after he knocks him out in the 3rd episode, and they didn't send him back or bring him to a hospital because, you know, spec ops. Right? But of course, the kid's like a Cobra Kai ninja, so he escapes the restraints, and then Peacemaker goes into a parking lot to find him. They have a really cool fight. This is their rematch from episode 3, and it's a really cool fight. I enjoyed it up until, you know, the one agent just shot him and ruined the fight, and Peacemaker said, "You ruined it. That was my moment. I was gonna win that fight." Guys, in the end, I think Peacemaker episode 4 was a vast improvement for me personally. If you guys enjoyed the hell out of those first 3 episodes and think it's some of the best DC TV in years, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad you feel that way. I'm allowed to feel a different way, don't you know? I think this show is going in a good direction now. Again, I didn't hate those first 3 episodes. They just weren't for me. Like, the tone of it seemed a little off, and it seemed kind of all over the place, in my opinion. This 4th episode seemed to define what the show wants to be going forward. And now we're 4 episodes deep, and we got 4 more left. So you can expect reviews for the next 4 episodes. But guys, that is my review for Peacemaker episode 4. Let me know down below, what did you think of it? Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys. And be sure to stick around, because I'm currently covering the Book of Boba Fett as well. That's got 3 more episodes. So you might want to stick around, because there's a bunch of content coming to the channel. And as I always say, there is more to come.